Hello, fellow Star Trek fans. Welcome back to a brand new episode of 10 Forward with me, your host, Mike Overton. Once again, I am joined by my dear friend, Jodi Pickens. Jodi, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing great, Mike. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, in this season of 10 Forward, we are, of course, checking out Season 3 of Strange New Worlds. Now, this week, we're delving into Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episode 4. I can't believe we're 4 episodes in already. Oh, how time... Well, I suppose the only scary thing is that means we've only got 6 left.
Right. I don't like that.
No, yes. Me neither. But anyway, the episode is entitled A Space Adventure, so let's dig in. We open not on the bridge of the USS Enterprise, but on a ship that looks like it was pulled straight out of 1966 Star Trek set archives. If those archives had been lovingly reimagined by a team of set designers, hopped up on primary colours and kitsched. Yeah, very true. The crew, familiar faces in unfamiliar roles. Nurse Chapel is suddenly a comms officer. Ortegas is now the ship's doctor. Kind of a bit backwards, topsy-turvy. Anyway, she walks in wearing a beehive and sass. And the captain of this new wild ship, the USS Adventure, is none other than James T. Kirk, delivering lines with a vocal cadence that seems kind of like a strange Shatner homage. This campy cold open introduces us to a new villain species, the Antagonons, who threaten to harvest human brain cells in what feels like a plot straight out of Lost in Space. The scene ends in a classical cliffhanger fashion. The ship is under fire, the stakes are enormous, and then we snap back to reality. The real Enterprise, the real timeline. La'an Noonien-Singh is our grounding force here. She's filing a log, and we quickly learn that the Enterprise is heading into Kentian system on a dual mission to chart the region and, unusually, to test a new Starfleet prototype, a recreational simulation chamber designed to help the crew with long-term deep space assignments. Sound familiar? Yes, they have just invented the Holodeck, or as Pike calls it, the recreational room. Yes, Holodeck definitely sounds better. Before Una interrupts with a smirk and says Holodeck for short. Let's face it, La'an's not thrilled. Games and fun? Well, you know, that's not really her speed, but she's a good sport and Pike gives her clear orders. Push the system as far as it will go. So, with little help from Spock and Scotty, she designs a simulation based on her cherished pulp detective series from her past, the Amelia Moon Mysteries, gifted to her by the captain who rescued her from the Gorn captivity. A noir-loving outsider with a sharp mind for justice. Sounds a lot like La'an. Inside the holodeck, La'an becomes Amelia Moon, tweed jacket, smoky narration, and all. The simulation places her in 1960s Hollywood investigating the murder of a television mogul, surrounded by the cast of familiar yet recast crewmates. Pike plays a flamboyant showrunner, T.K. Bellows. Una's the studio producer, Sonny Lapino, and Kirk is now the pompous TV captain, Maxwell Saint. Nurse Chapel is a starlet, and Benga is a lounge singer, and Ortegas, you know, the actress and screenwriter who dreams of the Dakotas. Oh, and Uhura is the fast-talking power agent who you may or may not be the killer. The layers are rich. We're watching Starfleet officers inside the holodeck simulation that's parodying a fake TV show that itself parodies the original series. The Last Frontier, as it's called, in-universe, is a series facing cancellation due to low ratings but defended by its small, passionate fanbase, and all too familiar echoes of the real-world battles fans fought for TOS. But quickly escalates, Sonny Lapino, Una, is poisoned. The ship experiences real power surges, and the holodeck safety protocols, well, guess what? They're offline. La'an and Spock, who joins her from a kind of like a Watson figure, realizes that they're trapped inside the simulation and can now cause real harm. And the only way out, you guessed it, solve the mystery. The whodunit format is classic Trek, reminiscent of Star Trek's penchant genre experimentation. Think kind of like a piece of action or Spectre of the Gun, but layered with modern character depth. As La'an interrogates each suspect, we not only follow the narrative beats of the noir mystery, but also uncover the deeper themes of trust, trauma, identity, and even the meta role of the science fiction in society. Now, where it gets juicy, the holodeck program senses La'an's trust in Spock, inserts a fake Spock, essentially, into the narrative without her realizing. In this version of Spock, who plays the perfect partner, the brilliant counterweight, and eventually the final twist. In the truly gotcha moment, La'an deduces that the holographic Spock is the killer, the one who poisoned Sully Lupino, sabotaged the simulation, and nearly got them all killed. Why? Well, because the program knew La'an needed a challenge. Someone she'd trust implicitly, someone in the system could use to push their limits. But guess what? It's not just a mystery solved, it's a reflection of how deeply La'an's motions are tied to the real people that she trusts. Outside the holodeck, well, guess what? The Enterprise is in peril. Caught in a gamma burst with dwindling power, and only Scotty's frantic engineering can buy them the seconds of survival. It's a race against time, both in and out. Uhura and Scotty work together to trick the AI into allowing communications with La'an, leading to a clever visual trick where the holodeck's version of Scotty literally hands a phone off-screen to deliver a message from reality. In the end, La'an solves the case, ends the program, and reports to Pike that this new technology, while full of promise, may not be quite ready for widespread use just yet. Pike agrees, and jokingly maybe they should lock it in a box and bury it. Scotty, ever the optimist, suggests that all it needs is a dedicated power source and server, and Pike says fine, put it in the report, but only in the footnote. And just when you think we're done, we get one final beat. La'an shows up at Spock's quarters, ready to finish their tango from earlier. The two share quite emotional conversation, acknowledging what happened in the holodeck and what it means outside of it. Then, in true Trek fashion, a kiss. Bittersweet, honest, and earned. The episode closes with a final laugh. Back in the world of The Last Frontier, where Kirk's character tries and epically fails the Riker maneuver and promptly destroys the captain's chair, because, well, of course he does. I hated this episode. I really, really hated this episode. And I think it's that age-old, oh, look, we're stuck in the holodeck again. Oh, and the safety protocols have magically turned themselves off. Oh, and the only way that we can get out is to solve the mystery. I mean, how many times have we had these episodes in the past?
See, I'm the opposite. Yeah. I loved everything about it. And I loved it because... Yeah.
There were bits that I liked, but just the whole story for me was just naff.
I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it.
So, go on. What is there anything in the episode you didn't like?
You know, the only thing that I think really struck me as feeling a bit forced, maybe, and I'm sure all the shippers are going to come after me for this, but I'm here for it. I felt like the whole La'an Spock relationship, not the friendship, but the relationship that seems to be forming between them feels forced, but only from a way where it just feels like we're just trying to learn who La'an is now that she's kind of having this era of discovery or awakening. And I really, I know she's allowing herself to be more open and trusting the people she works with and all of these things, but I just feel like I would like to know more of her story before she's pushed into having feelings for Spock. Yeah. And I know we only get 10 episodes and they've got to move things quick, but some story arcs get rushed and this is feeling rushed to me.
I think one of the things that I think Strange New Worlds has not done particularly well is a lot of backstory exploration. I mean, we've had 20 episodes, and in those 20 episodes, we know a lot about Pike's backstory, and obviously we know a lot about Spock's backstory because we learned a lot of that in Discovery.
Right.
But La'an's backstory, we know, okay, she was captured by the Gorn, but that's about it.
Right.
Nurse Chapel's backstory?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. And Benga's backstory, okay, he fought in the war and he did some nasty things in the war, but okay, not an awful lot. Ortega's backstory?
I mean, not really.
You know, it's just like I feel like there's so many opportunities that they could have explored, you know, and added little trinkets of information and details in, and I feel that they're struggling with that. And I agree with you. The Spock-La'an relationship seems a bit rushed, and we don't actually know. I mean, let's face it, La'an's had relationships with a couple of people now aboard the ship. Is this just another tick in the box for somebody. I don't know.
Right.
It just feels not wrong, but just not right at this moment in time.
Right. And I mean, it could be so many things. Are they setting it up to make Nurse Chapel jealous? Maybe.
Yeah.
Is it to... I don't know. Is there going to be character growth from La'an and Spock from this? There's just a lot. It raises a lot of questions in addition to feeling a little bit too soon. So...
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Sorry to all the shippers out there.
No, I wholeheartedly agree with this one. I just think that it's something that Strange Noir has kind of struggled with a little bit across the board.
Well, 10 episodes doesn't leave them a lot of room for that character exploration, like what we got when there were, 22 to 26 episodes a season back in the 90s. I mean, my goodness, we had all the time in the world for character growth.
Yeah, but I mean, how many of these kind of episodes have we had where they've all had a theme and they haven't actually explored anything to do with the characters themselves? It's always just piling more on top. So, yeah, I just feel that it's something that they could definitely do a bit better at, I think. Now, things that were liked... We got to see more Scotty, and we got to see that young, naive, chaotic Scotty, which I really like. Some of the points I believe you mentioned to me earlier was that, and I agree with you, it does pay homage to TOS.
Yes.
Which is really nice. And yes, it's also cool that we kind of see the very beginnings of holodeck technology. Which, again, are points that I really enjoyed. It's just a shame. See, look, we had this conversation off camera. I think if they had done something different with it, I think I would have liked the episode more. It's just the fact that the storyline is a practical, let's copy and paste from an episode of TNG with, oh, look, a Sherlock Holmes mystery where I'm locked in the holodeck. It's just the same again that's just been copied and pasted, and they've made a few tweaks for their own good measure that there's no Watson, we're going to throw Spock in there for good, I don't know.
See, that's why I loved the holodeck theme, like that it was this, once again, a murder mystery that goes awry and all the wheels fall off the holodeck and we've got to save the ship. I love that this was the beginning of the holodeck story in the Federation, and that it started with one of those classic, detective stories, and I think that just felt fun. See, I'm the opposite of you. I liked everything about the episode.
I mean, I don't hate
everything.
I disliked the episode. I just found the storyline very predictable.
Sure,
But Spock was the bad guy. We never saw that one coming a mile away, did we? Not.
No, but I get that, and I understand that the story was really maybe not the most in-depth thing that we've watched, but it really does what we talk so much about, how Trek holds a mirror to itself.
Yes.
But with this episode, the mirror is being held to the franchise and saying, here we're having fun with the beginnings of this, where it was Trek started, but at the same time, we're really paying that homage to it. And it's all about, that full-blown commentary on what it means to be Trek and what Star Trek is. And I think we've talked about this too, about in the modern world built on streaming and shorter attention spans and trying to get so much into those 10 episode seasons. I mean, come on, this was really telling a wonderful story and giving us a bit of history in a way to some of our favorite parts of what those early seasons of Star Trek were. And Uhura's monologue as whatever her name was, Joni Gloss or whatever, the talent agent on the holodeck. But she did this entire wonderful monologue that is the definition of Star Trek across the board.
Oh, absolutely.
And that was it's just so much fun. Plus, come on, the colors, the mid-century modern stylings.
1960s.
And so over-exaggerated. At least the TOS bridge looked like an actual ship. I mean, you would expect it to look like these were big giant candy buttons, and it was just
it's almost like kids playing make believe, isn't it? We're trying to make it in someone's living room or something. That's what it reminds me of, which I don't hate.
Maybe this was the kitschy Galaxy Quest episode. I don't know, maybe.
So every episode has a standout, and as soon as you said it, I completely agreed with you. And the standout has to be Jonathan Frakes, because I agree with what you said earlier. I don't think anybody could have directed the episode. Look, let's be clear. I hate the storyline, but the actual episode itself and how it was put together is fantastic. You know,
Yeah.
and I think Frakes did an outstanding job, and I do wonder how much he pushed Kirk into doing a Riker maneuver.
Oh my gosh, that was brilliant. A Riker maneuver over a high-backed captain's chair
that fails miserably and breaks
that
the chair.
fails miserably and destroys the chair. I mean, some of our favorite outtakes from any of the shows are when the cast is on set and a piece of technology comes apart in their hands, or I mean, those are great moments. And so this was, and I think that's why, because Frakes, he's not afraid to poke fun at the franchise or himself. As what the acting choices he made, the Riker maneuver. But I don't know that anybody else could have done this with the sincerity that came through this episode, and for what it means to be Star Trek. And I think it really just, I don't know, this just felt like a bit of a love letter to TOS to me. And I think Frakes was a big part of that.
Yep. No, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So to recap the episode then, Strange New World takes another big swing with this week's episode, a space adventure hour, diving into, well, let's face it, well-worn trope of holodeck malfunctions. Like Subspace Rhapsody, this one leans into self-aware absurdity, and whilst likely it's going to split the fan base, initially, it didn't really land with me. Especially with the early season preview, but upon rewatch, its charm, humour, and standout performances shine through. The pre-release tease of the Hollywood murder mystery helps set expectation for what turns out to be a kind of entertaining, a bit quirky episode. The holodeck plot borrows from classics like Elementary, Dear Data, The Bride of Chaotica, just to name a few, but adds unique twists. Yet, it's arguably early to introduce holodeck technology, but Scotty framing it as a prototype fits the canon perfectly. Plus, watching Spock say, in a classic holosuite setting, well, it's just fun, isn't it? The cast clearly had a blast playing exaggerated versions of their characters, and for some even doubling up in the shows within shows, as they say, a show within show, Jonathan Frakes directs with flair, shifting the tone from light to tense as fake Spock's murder twist emerges. Beyond the antiques, the episode deepens Spock's and La'an's arc. Christina Chong gives an excellent performance, balancing dry wit, emotional restraint, and physicality, especially in the dance scenes that delivers complex dialogue and romantic tension. Ethan Peck subtly differentiates real Spock from his hollow double, highlighting La'an's evolving feelings. The show is staking close-up kind of soap opera territory this season, but the chemistry is undeniable. This also is a key outing for Scotty. Martin Quinn continues to impress with scenes revealing his limits and lingering trauma from the Stardiver. Una once again steps in as a mentor, and Rebecca Romaine continues to show command growth in her role. The centerpiece of the episode in this in-universe program, this is a tongue twister. The centerpiece of the episode in the in-universe A Space Adventure Hour, knowingly over-the-top parody of 20th century sci-fi TV, it straddles the line between homage and satire with nods to Spock's brain, Galaxy Quest, and Hollywood excess. Paul Wesley's performance as Maxwell Saint cheekily riffs the Shatner-era Kirk. Other personas reflect Trek's real-world legacy, Pike as Roddenberry-like visionary and Una as Lucille Bell, Chapel as a kind of serious Leonard Nimoy type, and Ortegas as the Western-loving DeForest Kelley. The episode plays with the fourth wall a lot, especially through Uhura's character, Joni Glass. Her speech about how stories can heal and offer belonging is a heartfelt reflection of Trek's cultural impact, echoing Nichelle Nichols' own story and Dr. King's famous appeal for her to stay on the show. While it's not perfect, this week's episode is bold, clever, and layered. It may feel a bit self-indulgent and insular for a show about exploration, but the joy of the performances and the love letter to Star Trek Legacy gives it weight. It's a high-concept, high-camp detour that works best if you lean into the spectacle. And if the rumours are true, even bigger swings are still to come this season, so let's buckle up. Thanks everyone for tuning into this week's episode of 10 Forward. I have been your host, Mike Overton, with my lovely friend Jodi Pickens. And remember, you can catch up with more Clonestar podcasts at our website, clonestarpodcast.com. And remember to like and subscribe and hit that little bell icon so you get notified when we upload the next episode next week. But until next time, live long and prosper.